morning. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining me live this morning, my name is Jenny McCormack and I'm from Gemini Crafts. I'm based in Brackley, in the market town in the centre of the UK, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I have a lovely team of ladies, and each week I set them an optional challenge, so they don't have to join in if they don't want to, but sometimes it's nice to, if we're struggling for ideas, to be given something to focus on, something different that you might not normally do. So each week we have a challenge, and sometimes I set them and sometimes my team set them, and it's not to test their ability in any way, shape or form. It's purely optional. Have a bit of fun, challenge yourself, and then the winning entry, which we draw each week, who gets a little prize, is chosen at random. So I just put all of the names into a name picker and then select one at random. So the challenge we have for this week, that actually finished last night, and I draw the names after my live Monday morning, is to use a stamp set that you've had but hardly used or not used at all, or a product that you've had. So I've chosen to use Prized Peony this week, and I have decided that I've had this stamp set since it first came out in the new annual catalogue. Barely used it, if at all. Actually, I have used this sentiment. I do remember. I've used love and thanks to a dear friend. So I've decided this is going to be my stamp set of the week. It does have matching dies, which I'll show you later on in the week. Morning, Baz. Morning, Monica. Morning, Carol. So I'm going to be using those later, but today we're just going to do a very simple layout of a card. And the inspiration, this was from the lovely Kylie Bertucci from Australia. And I just flicked through to see if there are any other suggestions. And she had a great design, which was using the matching paper, which I've got here. Now, let me just pop these out of the way. So as you can see, the paper is very much peonies, and the colourway for the paper is grey granite, petal pink and basic grey. So those are the basic colours that make up the sets of paper. Now I haven't got a full set, as you can see here, because I've used some of the papers. They're so nice. So here is one with the grey granite and the peony sort of in relief. That's a piece of odd card. Then we have this one, which is white peonies on the pink petal background, and there's another one of these with the grey granite background, and on the reverse of those is grey granite with an all over design. Then we have this one here, which is in basic grey, and on the reverse we have a marble. Here's another one in grey granite with the smaller peonies, and also this has a direction as the stalks are going upwards, and then grey sort of check on the back. And here's another one here with the peony buds with smaller grey on the back. So I say this is not the whole set, this is all I've got left from my pack. So I'm going to be using some of the papers. Let me put those away before I lose them. So I hope everybody's had a nice weekend. Hi Jacqueline, thanks for joining us. Okay Baz, no worries. Hi Jane. So the first card I'm going to do uses a layer of the grey granite on white peony paper. Then I've got a layer of grey granite card, which is 1/2 centimetre larger, and then I've got a Whisper White card base. And this is the one that was designed by Kylie. And what she did was she took one of these stitched framelets and placed it on here and stamped the peony at the top and the bottom and a message in the middle. So that's what I'm going to recreate. So I'm just going to use the grey granite. Okay, in fact I've only got 2 inks today, grey granite and basic grey. And I'm also going to use the Petal Pink Blends pens to do some colouring in for my second card. So let me mount this up ready. So I'm just going to use this one here. So the images that you see on the front are slightly smaller than the real image. They're actually shown at 90%. So as you can see in the stamp set, you get the large peony with the little bud, a smaller single flower, and then smaller again, a flower with the leaves. You get the leaves on their own, and then, I'm not sure that you can see this, but a tiny little pattern that's sort of faded out. So one thing I think this would be good for is doing a One Sheet Wonder stamped in the style of Ruth Trice. So that's going to be one of the sessions for this week, because these leaves lend themselves to it, as does this little item here. And then we have 4 sentiments. Sorry for your loss. Your sweet friendship refreshes the soul. My thoughts are with you. And love and thanks to a dear friend. So nice set of sentiments. I will talk about the dies later in the week. And obviously we've looked at the papers as well. So I'm just going to mount this up and use grey granite. Hi Tracy. So I've just got a corner of some grid paper here. And what I'm going to do is going to take our stitch framelit and add a flower here and a flower here and a sentiment in the middle. And this, rather like the stamps that I used last week, does a lot of the work for you in terms of the light and the dark, as you can see. So just inking that up. I'm going to have this up towards the middle, like so, and then one coming down from the top. The detail in that is stunning. It makes you look like an artist, even when you're not. Okay, so there's my top and bottom. That's going to go onto there, and then I'm going to add a sentiment in the middle, and I think I'm going to put my thoughts are with you, if it will fit in. Well, but I might be better with that one. So I should have I thought about it. I should have stamped the sentiment first, and then I could arrange my flowers around it. But it is Monday morning. Morning, Jill. That's fine. You know me, it takes me a while to get up and running anyway. So I'm just going to stamp this and see how straight it is on my grid paper. That will do nicely. Very slightly high, but there we go. You could easily make this into a little tag and put a hole at the top and thread some ribbon through it. That would be quite effective as well, wouldn't it? Okay, so there is my stamped image. As I say, it does all the work for you. And so here I've got Whisper White, grey granite, I've got my peony paper, and then this layer is going to go on top like so. Now I could cut out a larger element behind it, or I could switch out this paper to be one with a bit more background in it, for example. This one. So if you wanted more of a detailed background, it's almost like a negative, isn't it? Old-fashioned negative. Then you could reverse that round. In fact, I think I might prefer that, because this has got a little bit too much white in it. So for this first one, I'm going to keep it plain and simple, and just going to use those layers as I've got them, and pop this one up on dimensionals. You could obviously colour this one in. You could add Wink of Stella to make it nice and glittery. So there's lots of things you can do. Hi Carol with an E. Lots of things you can do to step this up. It is really a stunning set, similar to the Thoughtful Blooms that we used last week, but it's got a little bit more about it in terms of the sentiments and obviously the matching dies. So let us layer this up. So this is going to go onto dimensionals. I'm just going to layer these up as is. And so I've got some wet glue. Now I have found my seal. I found it the other day. You'll be pleased to hear. So I'm just going to layer that onto there. And obviously this could be a coloured layer. I quite like it being, I do like having some monochrome cards in where they're all sort of white and one other colour. But you could easily pick out a different colour for the backing if you wanted to. Pop that onto there. Actually, just wondering whether to add some ribbon round and put that at the side. Let me see. So I could use grey granites, or although it's introducing a different colour, I could use petal pink. Let me just see what I've got. Should have some grey granite. Try that one. So that would look quite nice because that's got the white edge, hasn't it? And that would keep it together. From the new catalogue, we also have this fab metallic ribbon. It's like a mesh. It's very soft. And that would also look nice. In fact, I could almost do both. Couldn't I? I could have that flat with that on top and make it look nice. That would make a nice wedding card, wouldn't it? This makes into bows really easily because it's so soft and fine. You can easily make a bow out of it. Sometimes the ribbons are a little bit too harsh, but look how easily that folds. I do like that, and I do like that. So what I might do is that combination, is just wrap that around. Okay, let's have a look. See, I could really do with my seal. I know it's just here. In the absence of that, only because I want to use a dry glue on the back, so let's just put this on each side. There we go. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to just wrap this around like so. So delicate. Like that. So this is called metallic mesh ribbon, and you get 10 yards or just over 9 meters on a roll. Be good for Halloween, a sort of spiderweb things. Okay, and I think I'm going to wrap this one round as well. Like that. I like the way the white edge of the ribbon picks out from the paper. So because that's mesh, the tape will allow me to stick it through like so. Like that. And then I'm going to pop this either centrally or to one side, and then add a little bow or not. So let me put the rest of this on, then I'll decide. There we go. So I've changed from my original plan already, and why not? So let me know if you think I should put it in the centre, the sentiment, or should I put it to the left and add a little bow? Let me know what you think. Hi Nicole, hi Claire, hi Isabel. I have to say, it's the paper and the colours here that do the work, for sure. So there's my base, and then this is my stamped image that I've just done. Move that out of the way for the minute. So I could add either ribbon. Tracy says to the left. Thinking this would look nice as a bow on top, really, because this grey is quite thick. So as I say, this ties really well, and although it's a mesh, it's almost like it's very clear acrylic with the metallic woven through it. Make it a little bit smaller. Carol says to the middle. It's smaller again. Okay, so we're just deciding left or middle. Okay. This makes a nice little bow if you just twist it like so. You can make it into a bow. Right, I can put some dimensionals on here. Jacqueline says left, so I think it could be to the left. Got some bits of dimensionals here I can use up. So I'm going top and bottom so that I've got space in the middle for the ribbon. Okay, left has won it, folks. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm going to keep that to the left, like so, and then I'm going to pop that little bow on there, and then that ties that all together nicely. Make it fairly small. It's probably my favourite ribbon from the new catalogue. There we go. Find my glue dots. I have a packet, look. I have an empty packet. There they are. So just going to push that onto the glue dot, lift it off, put that here on the right hand side. There we go. And I think what I'll do to finish this off is I'm just going to stamp another peony on the inside. So let me just open that up. I'm going to use the same one again, and my grey granite. Go. I do like grey granite because it has a little bit of brown in the grey. There we go. And obviously you could add any sentiment on the inside if you wished. Okay, so that's card number 1. Card number 2, I'm adding Petal Pink into the mix. Thank you, Baz. I'm glad you like the card. It is very sweet, isn't it? Okay, so for this card, what I thought I would do is I've got a Petal Pink card base, which I do need to fold and score. Just grab, just going to fold it in half and score it, just with the bone folder for speed. So that is going to be my card base. And then I thought what I would do is layer white and then this piece of peony paper, and to me potentially this should go on the way that this has been cut on its side. because these blooms are then facing mostly upwards. And then I thought I'd have a sentiment on here and a backing layer. And what I thought I would do is colour in some of the flowers. Maybe just these ones here, not necessarily all of them, just so it brings in the rule of three. So petal pink, petal pink, petal pink, and then I've got white, white and white. So I think that looks the best way round. I mean, you could get away with it that way, but I think I'm going to do it that way. And I'm just going to use light and dark petal pink blends pens, which I have here. So I've got dark petal pink, if you can read that or not, and light petal pink. So this one I've had open for a couple of years. This one I don't know because I haven't labelled it, and I suspect it's more recent. I should get back to labelling the dates when I open them. But just to give you an idea how long it lasts, and I love petal pink, so I've used that a fair bit. So what I'm going to do is pick out, I think, these three. So I've got my sentiment here. Let me just see if there's a better position. If I put it here, I've got these three. I'm going to stick with my first instinct. So I'm just going to take dark petal pink, and as you know, I'm not a brilliant colourer, so I'm using the dark petal pink wherever there's dark shading that Stampin' Up have provided, and there, and then I'm going to go over it with the light. So nice and straightforward. As I say, they've done the work for me. So just bringing in that dark, and then I'll apply the light over and you'll be able to see it, hopefully. Now I know peonies come in all sorts of colours, so you get really beautiful deep colours of peonies, don't you? So this is the light one, and because I'm covering a bigger area, I'm using the broader tip. So because I'm keeping to these colours, I'm not even going to add green for the leaves. Just going to keep it in these two colours. So there's one. So, and then I'm going to do these two here. Obviously you could do the whole thing if you wanted to. You could do them in different colours. So you could colour into your heart's content. This reminds me, I don't know if any of you remember the black and white papers that we had. I think it was the year before last that you could colour in. They were really stunning. And the nice thing about when you're colouring this in is that you get the effect on the back as well. Obviously this has got a colour printed on the back, so it's not quite as clear. So this will be my entry to the challenge. for my team. Obviously I don't actually qualify for anything, but I do like to think if I've set my team a challenge, that I would never set them something that I wouldn't be prepared to do, as long as I've got the time. And if you want to go back in and add more depth of colour, you can. So the peony dies that come with this not only cut out the peony shape from the stamp set, but they actually create a 3D peony. So keep watching this week. So it's going to be my featured stamp set of the week. Okay, so that's the dark. Just going to hop over with the light really quickly. See how quick that is. And then blend a bit more of that. So take your time with the colouring. As I say, colour as much of that or as little as you want. There we go. Let's have a look and see how that is looking. So I could probably do this one up here, I think, or those three there, just to bring it all in together. So I'm going to do these three. And I really got this idea just from looking at the papers, thinking I want to bring in an extra colour, and I thought, well, why not just colour in the papers. That one there. Well, I don't know what weather you ladies had at the weekend. Where I was, it was lovely, but I gather there were lots of storms and things around the vicinity. And I know it rained in the night, because I did hear it a little bit, but we didn't have a storm that I know of. If we did, I slept through it. So I hope everybody is safe. Okay. That's two, isn't it? There we have it. There we are, that will do. So that is just light and dark petal pink blends, which match that perfectly. And that's going to be layered up onto white and then onto the pink. I'm going to stamp my sentiment obviously in there. Let's do that. See if my thoughts are with you. We'll go in that one. They might just be a little bit tight, I think. I'm going to do that in basic grey this time because this is the colour of the ink on the paper. Let's have a look and see. Yep. Should get away with that. Go onto there. Oh, and I will stamp on the inside as well here. So let me take these layers out. So you could carry on colouring the whole thing. I'm just going to use that little one on the inside of here. So, and again I'm going to use the basic grey. There we are. And also I can put that on the envelope as well. Okay, let's layer this up. So I'm going to pop that onto there. See how pretty it is coming through with the dark and the light. So this is onto Whisper White. So the size of this cut layer is 9 centimeters by 14.35. There we go. And then that's going to go onto there. And I'm going to have a look and see if I've got some petal pink embellishments that I could add to that. So making sure I've got my card the right way around. This card looks really long. Yes, it is. I thought the dimensions didn't look quite right. So just going to pop it on the right hand side because I don't want to cut my little flower off. So this should be 14.85. Obviously didn't cut it down from I don't know, from a standard card. I don't know. Not sure what I was doing there, but that looks a better all-round combination, doesn't it? So if you've got any papers that have got suitable for colouring in, do consider just colouring in a part of them. Nothing to stop you colouring the whole thing. Okay, especially if you're using colours outside of those that are selected on the paper. You know, you could go really deep purple, for example. So I'm going to put this one flat and then this layer up on dimensionals. These are the same dies as in the other set that used in the earlier card, I should say. Like so. Could add a little bit of that. I'm going to leave it plain. There we go. So our venue that we run coffee and card at on a Monday has reopened. So I'm off there shortly to go and have a look, because they've refurbished the place while it's been closed. So I'm going to go and have a look and see how practical it will now be for our coffee and card when we're able to meet up again. Go. I'm just going to have a look and see if there's a little bit of bling that I can add to that one to bring in the petal pink. It is good news, Baz, that's for sure. You'll certainly be able to meet for coffee within the government guidelines. So here we have these elegant faceted gems, which are perfect because they have a little pink colour in there. You also have these faceted white ones and then the clear ones, so you could use any combination. Plus, if you ran out of the pinky ones, you could use your blends pen, as I've done on this one here, to colour a different colour in to pick that up. So let's add just a couple of these. What I'm going to do is pop them in the gaps. 1, 2 and 3. So there's that one there. And on this one I'm going to use the clear ones, just the little ones again, in the gaps. If I pick that up with a... oh, jumping. So here I'm putting them in the gap on the granite. These are alive. There's 1, 2, and I'm going to put one on there. 3. So the main star of the cards this morning is really the papers, to be honest, because you could cut a flower out from here and pop it onto your sentiment if you wanted to. Oh, that's a shame, Baz. Oh yes, it's holidays for you, isn't it? Of course, everybody's at home. So there's the Prized Peony stamp set, and these are the 2 cards from today. And this stamp set and the dies will be my stamp of the week, so we'll be using this in different ways all through the week. So if you don't like peonies, you might get some ideas of other things you can do with them, of course, but I'll leave that up to you if you're able to join us. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you all keep safe and well, and at the moment keep dry. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So I shall be here tomorrow, that's Tuesday at 3 p.m. So I do hope you're able to join me for that, and we'll see what fun we can get up to with the Prized Peony. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care, and thank you for joining me today. Look after each other, look after your loved ones, stay safe, and I hope you can keep crafting. Thank you. Bye-bye.